Hey guys. Hello?
Hi.
Dansen!
Hi.
John! So I apparently I still don't have moderator controls on the Mumble, so I'm just gonna come to you guys. We're just gonna hang out in this chat room. Um, so welcome to IndiE3, and we're really great. Glad to be hosted by Hitbox. I think it's a really topical thing because what we've basically done is we have this prototype of a virtual convention that we're working on, that we're kind of putting together just as it comes together. And Hitbox itself is also a streaming service that's in beta. It's not a complete and finished product, and so it kind of works together really well.
Yes, I have to agree. And we're really happy to be on here. And actually, I was a bit surprised to be asked to come onto a panel and talk about Hitbox, because at first, like, it felt maybe even a bit out of place in the midst of all that indie gaming stuff. But thinking about it further, it actually makes a lot of sense. Exactly for the reason we are very down to earth and grassroots movement ourselves, basically trying to make it big and make it. So basically, we are the indie gaming equivalent of a streaming platform, so to speak.
I like the analogy. Uh, what do you think, Song? Should we introduce ourselves, or did you do already before
Oh,
to the
absolutely.
audience?
I wanna hear about who you are, what your guys' roles are, and what you guys do for Hitbox. Probably many different things. What with it being a small production, and I want to know about how Hitbox all came together and how you guys all came to be a part of Hitbox. Just kind of an overall origin story.
Okay, so this is John. Hi. I'm. I don't like it. I'm officially the chief marketing officer. I would
You
like to
don't
change
like
that
it?
because no, because people have a different conception of marketing usually, like an evil, bad, something. And I would say currently my main job is especially listening and trying to find out what people want and how to accommodate for them. Um, and I joined Hitbox because, like, when I met the team behind it, it was like some crazy guys who had great vision and who really had this desire in their eyes, like this burning kind of passion to do something, to just make it happen against all obstacles. And it just kind of drew me in. There was no escape. There was totally no escape. But Dansen maybe can tell his story because he's been along for even longer while, I guess.
Yeah, I've been part of Hitbox basically since the day we opened shop, which was at the beginning of October 2013. And even though we have gotten a bit bigger in terms of staff, the main thing behind it didn't really change much, and it's still just a bunch of guys, and now even a girl. So we do have female support as well now, who are just all out nerds and completely passionate for the project and trying to make it the best thing ever. That's basically what it comes down to.
Okay, sorry, I'm here. um, yeah, okay. I wanted to ask you guys. So where does Hitbox come from, and where did that all come about? You guys were saying that. I'm sorry. I completely. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take it away from me.
In general, I mean, we are all European. Well, now not anymore. Luckily, we're getting more global and global daily, basically, even in our staff. But the all the founding staff members we're all from Europe, and I guess it's hard to comprehend for the American audience since they didn't have those issues, but for us in Europe, if we wanted to follow streamers, watch the streams, watch esports events, watch community events, whatever, it's been a rocky road as a viewer, since there just isn't any service out there that gives us a really high quality service. Basically, it's just been really hard to follow our favorite streamers and esports events and what have you. And but basically what it comes down to is, instead of just sitting here and complaining about not having the service that we all wish for, we set out to create the service ourselves, since we have the knowledge, we have the people on board who are really good in what they're doing, and so yeah, we just trying to set out and build the streaming platform that we feel is that we want and that we deserve and the community deserves. That's basically our goal.
I had no idea. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, sorry, I just want to add that, yeah, and we were also crazy enough start this. I guess it needs a little bit of craziness. But there's like something behind Hitbox, you know, I don't want to call it vision, but like kind of a clear thing that we see in the future that we want to create. And we are a young live stream platform. That's no secret. We still have the beta sign up there. But what we have is, and I think this is something our viewers really appreciate, and we appreciate us, is that we have a little delay between broadcaster and viewers, and it really allows this interaction. You know, you see something in the stream, you write in the chat, the one broadcasting can react to it. It's really more interactive. The interaction skill, this delay is high, right? And our vision is to really create like the most interactive live stream platform out there. So it's, you know, if you want to put it in metaphorical words, and it's for us, it's like a challenge and a privilege to be able to connect living rooms like we do now, you know. So you sit in the US somewhere in the studio, we sit here in Austria somewhere, the views everywhere, and it's really connecting living rooms. Basically, this is something that we want to do, and it should be like kind of a new place, hopefully a better place for people who want to interact and who are passionate about games. I think this is like the kind of main goal behind it.
And this is why John is our marketing guy.
I had no idea that the international focus of Hitbox was based in an underserved international community with live streaming. I think that that's a really amazing part, and it definitely, it seems from what I understand, kind of shows in the people that you bring to Hitbox. There's a wide variety of clearly labeled and well-designed streams in different languages.
Yes, indeed. Though honestly, that's not even something that we push for necessarily. Because first and foremost, we want to be a global service. We want this to be the place that wherever you're from, you can connect to, and you can watch the streams and participate in chat and the whole deal, no matter where you're from. But so far, I guess it basically comes down to what I said before. It's when you're outside of the US, it's a bit of a hassle to get the live streaming experience that you hear from the guys in the US that they have. And that also, I guess, made it easier for us to get the people from Europe, from Eastern Europe, even from Asia, even from South America, from all those places, to get them on board and get them over to Hitbox and show them that on our platform they can have all that.
I want to reference that Spiegel saying, "I love New Coke." And I want to reference that specifically to highlight that you have a very high sense of functionality with Hitbox, trying to manage the interaction between chat and Hitbox, the streamer themselves, as much as possible. And there's also so many other like little toys and things that people can play with that also highlight that?
Yes, indeed. I mean, that's also something that grew out, that we've seen on places like Twitch, where most of the functionality we're putting in now, like the live polling feature, like the raffle feature, stuff like that, those are all features that exist already, but they have to be shoehorned in by third parties, basically. I mean, don't want to diss those. They are doing an excellent job, but we feel like it would be a much better experience to get those features integrated from the first party, from us, to have that integrated right into the platform, to make it give access to those features of everybody who's registering on a site from the get-go, without having to deal with installing plugins, reading through manuals, or what have you. It should be a very plug-and-play kind of experience.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point. When we work a lot of this kind of small-scale stuff and it grows, we lean more and more on the communities that we build. IndiE3 itself is a really good example of how we've leaned on community to make amazing things happen. But there's also something to be said about a desire to create everything to be first-party focused, to make sure that you have access and control over everything, that your platform, this is specifically for a platform sense, right? Your platform doesn't have to rely on third-party resources.
Exactly. I mean, we want to be as open as possible. I mean, the way we see it is this is a community project, basically. We are all from the gaming community. We're all watching streams. We have done so for ages now, and most of us have backgrounds even in at least professional esports and events and what have you. I mean, I've been playing stuff like Quake 3 for ages now, and been in all kind of leagues and what have you. And I lost track of what I actually wanted to say.
If I can take over then maybe, and Solon also
go for it.
here. I think just let me briefly share why we're actually doing this panel, because it might be, as Dansen said before, strange having the live streaming platform being now in the panel in the live streaming platform. And we asked ourselves this question, right? It's why is it why it could be interesting for people in the indie scene? And our conclusion is that actually the story and development of Hitbox has many things in common with the indie scene. As we said, it's a small group of dedicated and passionate people who are trying to build something great, or that they see as something great, with very little resources and little manpower, and despite big players with a lot of cash out there, not to name them. And that's one part, right? So there's the story part, that is community has something in common with people who struggle to create great indie games. And then the second part was actually most of you and everyone who's watching now is using live streaming services probably regularly, but maybe doesn't know what's really background, what's happening behind the curtains. And we want to share these things with you, a little bit more insights from what's in the back. And they're basically three things we would love to share, because we think it might be interesting for people to know. The one is kind of a 101 of live streaming platform. What's behind it? How does it tick? What makes it work? What are the things you have to take care of that you even couldn't think of, that I couldn't think of before I joined the team? The two is we would love to share our approach towards the community and marketing, and maybe tell how we see marketing differently than maybe the textbook definition of it. And also a little bit talk about, if you have the chance, would be great, about the future of live stream, maybe the future of Hitbox. I think that might be interesting for people.
A live streaming platform has thoughts on the future of live streaming?
Yes,
awesome.
Of course.
That's revolutionary.
Yeah. No,
so
go for it.
No, please go ahead. You want to ask a question, I guess?
No, I want to let you have the floor.
Yeah, so before we come to the future, I thought, just to kind of give a sneak peek of what live streaming is about, right? So first of all, I mean, it's a 24-hour business, right? It's people stream 24 hours, people watch 24 hours, they rightfully demand support 24 hours, and you have to be present there fix things that happen on a technical point of view or on a support issue. So you really have to be able to operate 24/7. There is like no sleep, and in the few hours that Danson sleeps actually here, who's heading support, then his colleague Dan in the US takes over and does it. So you have to operate 24/7. That's one thing. Another thing is, I think, like because a lot of people ask me, and I'm not sure if they're aware of this. There's a difference if you create a platform where you upload videos, and once it's stored out there, and it's just someone accesses it right from all around the world. It's technologically a little bit more challenging to do live streaming, where the signal is created live and has to be held live. This has implications for a server infrastructure that you have to create, to manage, to always optimize, to always watch, and to make sure that things are working. And the issue is that there's no real school to learn how to create live streaming, right? And it's not easy to find the right people who are really good in what they do. I hope we did. I mean, I'm very confident that we have great people in the team, but it's like it comes with a challenge, right? And also, like, there's something that affects not only us but all technology companies, is that you have to constantly be on the search to identify problems or needs that your users have or that they could potentially have, and find technical solutions for it, right? So we are a tech company. I think that's kind of in their DNA. But now comes the important part. However, even though we're a tech company, it's about technology that we create. It's actually, the majority of it, it's a people's business. Now, it's all about human interaction. Because the technology allows human interaction. You can share and communicate across living rooms, but it's also, we have to do a lot of human interaction with the people to support them, to get them on board, and to find out what their needs are, right? And maybe it's like, if you just imagine a triangle of a platform, and it accounts for most platforms, but certainly for ours in live streaming. Imagine you have on the one end content, on the other technology, and on the third part of the triangle, community, right? And the challenge of a new live streaming platform that we are, as with most indie games, is how to reach a certain critical mass, right? How to reach this critical mass that is sometimes needed to make it work sustainably. And on a live streaming platform, as such, it's that usually, like, the viewers come with the content, but many times the content decide to come with the viewers as well. So how do you address this, right? It's kind of a challenge, and we think that we see, like, in general, two ways out there. The one is that you could kind of buy yourself into the content, and sometimes even buy the technology to get the community, like maybe other platforms do, or you can try to build up a community to address this triangle, buy technology to get the content. And I think it's probably more hard work, and it is more hard work, but this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to focus really in this triangle of content, technology, community, to the community, because we think that, if the community is happy, if they create something that they really want, if they are happy with the service, it's maybe together with the technology we create for them, something that pulls. And this is like what our focus is.
I'm currently I'm answering about the emotes that the Chic Monster made for us at IndiE3. Because Lana the Gun was asking, where did these come from?
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Together with the whole art sound for the event, I really love it.
Yeah, no, the Chic Monster made some really amazing stuff. I totally had a follow-up with what Jean was saying, and I'm trying for the life of me to remember what it was. It was something. Oh, it was something with the spirit of indie. Because you're doing a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week platform that has to always be up, and because it's also an indie style production, indie, including what we've had recently on our side, indie takes failure very, very personally, and because there's nobody else to mitigate any kind of problems to. I mean, like, when we screw up, and that's on us. And to be out there and to be on point for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, how do you guys personally manage any time that Hitbox has, like, hiccups and stuff?
You should
With-
really look at Dansen's face right now.
If, assuming there may not ever be hiccups on Hitbox.
No, of course there are hiccups. I mean, in any technology company or in any company ever, there are hiccups. Nothing goes 100% as planned, and it's for the better, actually, in the long run, in my opinion. But in general, let's just say we are as indie as it can be with. I mean, I don't know what the perception of the people is out there.
Excuse me.
I think police is going crazy somewhere. I don't really know what the perception of the people out there is of what Hitbox is. We're always put into the same category as the other streaming companies out there, basically the big ones like Twitch or Azul or Dailymotion or companies like that. And in comparison, what we aspire to be and what we're trying to build is on the same level, if not even more ambitious. But it's all coming out from of a place, of a really like indie focused place where we don't have those gazillion dollars and we don't have 3,000 people on staff and stuff like that. We are a small group of just really dedicated people who basically work their asses off 7 days a week and pour the whole heart and soul into it. And this also comes back to how we deal with issues. And how we deal with issues is basically, well, on the one hand, them as fast as possible if it's just quote unquote technical issues. But we try to go further than that, and we try to because technical issues are one thing, but on a platform that is relying on the community and on interaction between people, it's basically a social platform. Most of the problems that come up aren't even technical issues. Those are issues that come up because of social interactions. If people come together, people collide and opinions meet and stuff like that. And so, funny enough, being a technology company, it's on the well, you may think it's just about being a technology company, but it's also about being a social company and trying to deal with any issues that come up in those regards, and giving the people that come to the platform the options and the functionality to not only deal with the technical side of things, but also deal with the whole social component that comes with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and if I may add to this, so I mean, we really see ourselves as having the main focus on the community, and but this has some implications, right? It's first of all really trying to listen and to trying to find out what the community wants, even sometimes if they don't know it yet, right? Sometimes because they haven't seen the feature maybe, so they can't. Not everyone can visualize it, so you have to kind of really listen well and try to anticipate what they want. But it also requires constant interaction with them, like all the time, talking with your streamers, talking with your partners, trying to figure out how maybe issues they have, maybe things they would like to see. A lot of team lunches with pizza, they try to anticipate maybe what a concrete feature looked like to something which is an unconcrete need that what people tell you, and can't kind of pinpoint it down. So it's like a lot of guesswork. And I have to say that like all of it, like our development process, our sprint meetings, our everything, how we prioritize product and how we develop it week by week, feature by feature, is that it's a very dynamic pipeline. It really depends on what will we see as feedback from the community, what are the most important things for them. And it's of course that's maybe a challenge for long-term project planning, right? It's more agile project management, which is like our daily work. And even goes that far, like our community focus, it has a lot of implications. For example, the reason why there is such a low delay on Hitbox is that we use a protocol RMTP, right? It's something that a lot of streaming platforms don't use. Instead, they use like HLS, just in short, it's mobile streaming technology. It's easier to handle and it's cheaper, right? But we insisted on using RMTP because it really allows this live streaming. It's connecting people in real time, because we think that's really something that the community wants. And this is what we're trying to really keep up.
So are you saying you're providing us with luxury streams? They cost more and they're better for it?
No, in actuality, they don't actually cost more. It's just, well, not in the sense of that the technology itself costs more.
Yeah.
It's just a lot harder to handle it because it's an older technology. HLS is newer, and it's basically, it's kind of a patchwork thing. Like the whole thing is just a patchwork construct that has to be constantly monitored and constantly kept in place, so to speak. It takes a lot of effort to keep it running smoothly, and it takes a lot of effort to make it the smoothless experience that hopefully everybody has on Hitbox. And that's again where the passion from people, from our staff, comes in. We are willing to go the extra mile. We are willing to put in that extra effort and put in the extra time. Because the community is worth it, basically. That's what it comes down to.
And the fun thing is that your community can be anyone, and in two different ways. You've got the users on one end, who are the people in chat, and then you have the other users who are the streamers themselves, and they can switch and flip at any moment. You have people who are chatters one day or streamers the next, and vice versa. And so to make it fluid and agile for both sides can help in huge ways.
Yes. Yeah, and actually this is what we see. Like streamers, they stream themselves, then they stop streaming, go to another channel, be a moderator there, and just be in the chat, watch themselves. It's, as you said, it's this fluid movement. We see it a lot.
I'm attempting to play with some of the Hitbox things right now.
Oh, a sticky message. There you go. Nice job.
Well done, Solon. Can you do more? Can you show us more?
I have one more.
I'm curious.
There we go.
Oh.
Oh.
No, I want to resume that. Because people can vote on things in real time. We've actually used this often for streaming games with choices. Like the Banner Saga was really great.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The Banner Saga, we'd have all these like really emotional choices that we would make, and then the chat room would choose stuff, and then when everything went horribly wrong with that decision, we can all just be like, well, that's what we did. But anyway, I'll end that. All of these toys and stuff on the streamer side of things are also really just fluid and easy to use and instantaneous, and so it kind of goes along with all these themes, the themes of the platform. I had I'm starting to remember. I had a thing because this is something that's in beta and you guys are rolling out entirely new systems to build on top of Hitbox's currently existing systems, and you have to keep that agile development indie spirit going. How does it go with trying to keep up with all of the other platforms that are already like finished? They're not in beta. They are still being worked on, of course, in a lot of variety of ways, but yeah, how does it work trying to build new systems on top of the already existing systems of Hitbox?
Challenging. It's really challenging, especially since you have to consider other companies have been around for years now. We haven't even haven't even been around for a year yet. It's a little over half, and we
It's a baby platform. I didn't know it was so young.
Yeah.
It doesn't look it at all. I had no idea.
Yeah, we didn't have our first birthday yet, so the one cake with the one candle will come.
That's okay. We've only been alive for a week, so.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, I guess people interpret too much into the beta thing on there. The reason why we call it beta right now is mostly because we want to get the big foundation arc stones of the platform right, and then remove the beta. But it's actually not really gonna change the way we approach Hitbox as a project. It's gonna be constant growth and improvement, constantly thinking about new features on how to improve, and that's not gonna change whether it's there's a beta under the logo or there is not. But the main features for us are obviously the live streaming itself, the chat with all its features, and the VOD system behind it, and the mobile app. Those are basically, I'd say, the four founding blocks of the whole platform. And we are really satisfied now with how our streaming works. We are really satisfied now with how the chat works, especially since that is something that is completely new. Like all the other platforms rely on IRC, which I know is established. It's like almost 2 decades old now, the technology, and everybody's used to it. But we looked at the options that we have in all directions with everything we do. We looked at the options we have with live streaming, and we saw there is the older technology that is RTMP, and there is newer stuff like HLS, and we looked into it and we decided for ourselves that HS does have its perks, but for what we want to build, and which is again a community-centered platform, it just doesn't work since it comes with a delay. Same we did for the chat. We looked into the technologies that are out there and that we can use, and we looked at IRC obviously, and we also looked at building our own chat from the ground up with modern HTML5 WebSocket technology, and we are really happy with the decision. It was a bit of a bumpy road until we got to where we are now, but looking at the stats we have and the scalability of the whole chat system in general, we are proud and we are happy with the road we went down, because it's, in my opinion, it's right now it's the most stable chat system on any live streaming platform out there. There, I said it.
Yeah, and actually, there's a question.
Hey, we're all proud
we're
all proud of the work that we do on all our babies.
Yeah, no, but there's a question in chat about, have you thought about how chat works with over 1K people? Yes, it actually works well, and there is a slow mode, which you can adjust as a broadcaster, and you can select the time where users, the message one user writes is shown in which time cycle. So yes, you can do this.
Any other ideas on how to engage with large chat rooms? I mean, there's a lot of things a lot of different ways you could engage with it without, I don't know.
Oh, of course. I mean, we are obviously constantly trying to improve. Like right now, we just try to make it as stable as possible, and which it is by now, and get the basic, like the needed functionality in, which is obviously the functionality that people are used to from other platforms, basically, because that just makes transition for lots of the people easier. Mm-hmm. But looking at the technology we're using right now, it is direct, like the chat is directly integrated into the website. It's not something that you have to use bridges for, or like it's when other platforms use IRC, the IRC isn't directly in the website. You basically have to bridge IRC into the website. For us, the chat is right there. That's one of the reasons we can just shoot out features like the polling, like the sticky message, like the raffle feature, because we can just use HTML5 and JavaScript and go at it and do whatever we want with it. That makes it a whole lot easier to develop and also implement features that will deal with issues like really large chat rooms in the future.
Mm-hmm. You've got a couple a couple features that might actually overlap in some interesting ways. Like Hitbox has you can set images in and GIFs. If any mods want to post GIFs or images, they'll show up in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually funny because that's something that our main dev put in there basically as I mean, it's such an easy thing to do with our chat that the whole feature that we get a lot of response with people like going crazy about it and being happy about it. With the technology we're using, it's such an easy thing to do.
And then on top of that, when you have 1,000 people in chat, are there ways to manage images and GIFs flying by mods and stuff or anything?
Sorry, come again?
I'm just thinking about the systems as they overlay. If you have a really large chat room, mods can have some really good power by being able to put large pictures into the chat room.
Oh yeah, makes communicating with the chat a lot easier. You can make yourself, as a mod, you can make yourself heard a lot easier, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of power involved in it.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility.
And great gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to address the question that was there by Ulu later, I'm not sure if you mean that a polling system would be great with your question, but there is a polling system there. And we tried it before. We can maybe run another poll to see if this is actually what you're mean with your question when you said if 500 people answer yes or no to the question the streamer asks.
I'll set one up real quick. There we go. There's a poll running.
And meanwhile, Son, let me I would really love to get back to a point that you mentioned about, if there's a small hiccup there or there, how do you feel about it? And honestly, this is like, the kind of our marketing and community approach, if you want to say so, right? Marketing not seen as an evil thing. It's more like, how do you step by step, day by day, hour over hour, create not only a platform, but a brand that people kind of, that they symbolize for something that they like, that they, would like to come back again, that associate the positive emotions they had. And our way is maybe not the easiest way. It's really kind of living and feeling the brand. What do I mean with that? It's like feeling. I mean, every up and down. Personally, like Dansen and me, but everyone else in the team really feels it deep inside. So everything that is positive is like yay. Everything that is negative is like oh no. So if something. That's why personally I'm so happy that IndiE3 is on Hitbox. That was like something, yes, that's great, that's awesome, great to have it here. But of course, if something goes wrong, it's like it just pulls it down. Like for example, there's a tournament that is streamed on you, and in the last minute, a team that plays professionally jumps off and doesn't show up. Like it's even out of your influence, right? It's not even a tournament you organize, but it's like it really takes you down. And with all these things. Or for example, the streamer who's maybe not very knowledgeable because he's a starter, he didn't have the settings right? It's fine, but it caused him to have bad quality streams. So it's sometimes not always like something we can influence, but it's like really pulls us down to see that. And what we try to do, our approach is, wherever we can, try to be there and try to find the solution for the problem, even if it was originally out of our influence, and try to be there, try to help, and try to listen. I think this is kind of our main philosophy, and sometimes it's really good because you positively feel with the people if something goes great, right? But of course, if things don't work the way you want it has this negative effect. But I think it's for us the only way to do, because when you kind of feel together what the brand does and how the influence are, you kind of get the right intuition on where to take it. It's kind of a feeling it takes you there, right? And it develops over time. It's not something that it's fixed and unchanged. But I would say that's what we do. And the second part, living the brand as a small company, and I think that's important for all indies, is if you reach out to work with other people, no matter if it's partners, no matter if it's clients, no matter if it's customers or people who use your service. At the beginning, it's you, the people behind it, right? And if you don't really live the brand, if you don't communicate in a well way, if the people don't who are on the team don't believe in what they do day by day and communicate this clearly, it's work. It's difficult for all small companies, right? And that's why we really have to live the brand. Every single person there. It's a step by step, day by day communication process, and that people see, okay, these are the guys behind it, and this is what I have to trust into. Because, for example, other streaming platforms, they can now offer you great numbers, right? And they just see the viewer numbers there. And when you roll with us, of course, there's a little bit more maybe at the beginning a little bit more faith needed, and say, okay, I know who the guys is, I trust in where the future of this goes, and this only happens over the people. So it's a people's business. It just doesn't change. What do you think, Dansen?
I like how you use the word faith to describe that kind of feeling, because a lot of it is faith in people, not even like a brand, but just in the people who work it, especially when it comes to indie networks. I also wanted to get back to Ululator. What they were doing with their question was they were theorizing ways to collapse similar chat messages and get them to be grouped up together to so they don't take up as much space in the chat room.
Oh yeah, I get it now. Yeah.
Love you, Ululator. That was brilliant.
Basically, basically, what that comes down to is just you have to realize that the chat basically is just the front end. It's just the face of what's going on in the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And since it's all in HTML5 and JavaScript, we can do with it whatever we want without much tinkering around with, as I said, any bridges or anything. We can make it look whatever way we want. It's just a matter of general usability, if it makes sense. If the people want a feature, I mean, that's our general philosophy behind it. If the community wants a feature, we want to make it happen. That's for sure.
You know what the people want? The people want stream filters. They want to have their stream to be held in Valencia filters, and
they want the hipster hitbox.
Yeah, hipsbox.
Hipsbox.
Savington, why did your name change color? That was silly. Reverend also has a really great question. What's your average monthly bandwidth for Hitbox?
Oh god, honestly, I don't even know. So I can give you my best estimate from what I know. I hope our tech guys won't kill me.
They're going to so kill you.
Oh, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me anyway. But from what I know, we're basic. We have more bandwidth available and using than the biggest Austrian internet provider. I know Austria isn't the biggest country, but considering we're basically, as we said, indie company that a year ago was just an idea, it's a pretty awesome feat in my opinion.
That's amazing. Don't worry, they're not listening. The text, they're definitely not in chat.
Oh, he is listening.
Oh, they are listening. But actually, there is one question out there which would fit perfectly to talk a bit of the future of Hitbox, I believe. The question is, does it mean you could do a Hitbox plays Pokemon? I think that's the right timing, the right sign for us, Dansen, isn't it?
Whoa, is this an IndiE3 reveal? It sounds like that just ramped up real fast.
No, basically we wanted to end.
Wait. Yes, it is. You have to build momentum.
Oh.
You have to build tension.
Yeah, and again, that's why John is the marketing guy and I'm not.
No, so there is something. So first of all, the future of live streaming, right? The future of streaming is, we believe, live, and with live, it's real life, real time. Be real interaction without delay, and interactive. And what do I mean with interactive? I think it's ultimately the interaction between people who are connected from the living rooms, as we said before, sometimes even across continents right now, that matters most, right? It's interaction that people like to go on live streams. It's interaction that people use it. It's something that we believe that they really want, and they want more of it. They don't want less of it. That's why more and more people go to live streaming instead of, compared to TV, watching there, because you can interact on a live stream. On TV, you can't. And this interaction is, both for something that provides information, also something that provides entertainment, like games do. And we think that actually, if you look at the future of live streaming, that with regards to gaming, live streaming for games will probably evolve more and more into the direction of games themselves eventually. And for the future of Hitbox, what we want to build is, we want it to be maybe a new home for gamers, and what Dansen called it, I have to quote him here, a safe haven for the creative innovative, who want to build this interactive platform together with us. And to show that this is not only words, we actually do have an announcement to make.
What's the plan, man? Come on. Hit me.
Are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready. I just with you giving that speech, I have thoughts and ideas of what it could be, and hit me. Just do it.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, of course.
So we've been looking at what has been big in the live streaming scene in the community, unrelated of the whole esports thing. That's a given that's big. And what has been really hype, and one of the things that we saw got really hype was the whole chat plays thing. And we looked at it, and we thought that's a really cool concept. That's a really nice idea, but it lacks a few key features in our opinion. And one being that it needs to be more live. It needs to be without delay. Like if we're going to come together in a chat and play a game, then I want to see the outcome of the decisions I make and the influence I have on the game. I want to see that as fast as possible and not have to wait for it for about a minute, in the worst case. And we also don't really like the way the input works, since it misuses the chat. It uses the chat for inputs, where the chat is the main communication tool. You can't really communicate in the chat anymore, since it's all just about trying to play the game and not about having fun communicating with each other. So John is looking at me angrily.
Yeah, I think
come to the point.
That people want to know. Okay, so what we want to announce today is live here on the stream. First, for you to know that we're soon going to launch a game developer challenge on Hitbox. What does it mean? It means we invite you and all of you and want to hear your creative ideas of how to create an interactive game based on the Hitbox platform. So in other words, game that's built on top of live stream platform, on top of Hitbox. And we want you to be, to be imaginative and don't have any restrictions on what this game could be. And we also don't want you to have any restrictions for your idea phase on what you could use, right? So don't think only of the chat, right? Think of, just be creative. What will it be required to do that based on live streaming platform to make it interactive for people that they can play and watch at the same time, interact with each other? And what we want to do is we want to look at the ideas out there, and I really hope there are going to be great ideas there. And then select a few that we think are really cool and help them to get it done. And what it means is, it also means that we're like willing to kind of, if there are things not accessible over the API at the moment to use this game and this functionality, we want to review it and say, okay, let's do this, let's make it happen. We would assist you in the development of the game with at least the part connected to the live streaming. And as I said, expand our API for it. And we would even be willing to, if you'd like it, to have it hosted on our infrastructure, so it's up there 24/7. People can use it, and of course, it would include, the Hitbox partner package from which you benefit a lot. And I think it would be something really great. And that's basically our call. Our call for all the game developers out there to pitch us their ideas. More details are going to be announced soon on how you would create an interactive, maybe new game, indie game, doesn't matter, based on Hitbox.
That's amazing. I have thoughts. I have ideas.
I don't know how tech savvy the people watching are right now, but basically what it comes down to, we want people to create a game that takes advantage of the API that, on the one hand, the API that we provide right now, but also come up with ideas that maybe would force us to create new API calls. We are willing to do that. We are willing to work together with you guys and expand upon what we already have.
Actually,
I mean, of course, stuff like, sorry.
Hikari Yami in chat actually posted a very concise version of the thing that I was thinking of too.
Exactly. Like, for example, the polling feature right now, it's nothing but API calls that are getting sent back and forth. You could totally just take advantage of that via your game and create polls out of your game directly and have viewers interact that way. But that's just like what we have on right now. What we really want to see is the crazy stuff that we know the indie developers game scene can come up with.
That's awesome. Well, I think that I want to leave on that note because that's a huge reveal, and I'm very, very excited to see where that goes. The only leaving question for all of Hitbox is what's up with Kappa?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I mean, it's obviously a Kappa roll. That's what those are.
Exactly. I mean, most people don't realize that. They just call it sushi.
Don't do it.
No, I'm gonna let you in on this little secret. Honestly, when people first started coming to, or still when people come to Hitbox, since Kappa is such a big meme, they're gonna start using Kappa, just writing Kappa into chat. And at some point, we just got sick of it. It's a meme that has nothing to do with Hitbox, and we wanted to put a twist on it. So we tried to find a funny way to make it our own, to make it something that is more in the lines of what we feel the Hitbox Kappa should be. And this Kappa is basically a Kappa maki, which is the Japanese word for a cucumber maki. And it's also funny because the kappa is in Japanese lore. I think it's some form of I don't know, like a forest dwelling or a sea creature dwelling troll, something like that. It's a really funny thing.
Now we got Kappa going down the chat.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying yourselves, but yes, we need to wrap up soon so we can get some other people on the air. Sorry.
Right, are you on right now?
Me?
Yeah, are you guys doing your panel now?
I'm not on the panel, but I've got people waiting in the green room.
Awesome. All right, what's the panel that's coming up? Because I think my schedule is...
This is showing your games early and often with Austin Montville and, hold on, let me get the other guests. Sorry, I don't remember their names right now. With also Charles and Andrew, but let me get their last names.
Oh, this got moved from yesterday to today.
It got moved a few times, yeah.
I had no idea. That's fantastic. Let's do it upright then. Sorry about interrupting that, but yeah, let's close this up real quick. Hitbox, Dansen, John, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us.
And
Thanks for
revealing
having us.
a huge game jam opportunity to invest in streaming. I'm really excited to see what kinds of ways we can play with streams themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So keep an eye out for the announcement within the next 1 or 2 weeks with all the details and everything.
And
I'm probably
yeah, Austin.
I'm probably about to mangle these names, but we have stream showing your game early and often with Austin Montville, Andrew Gleason, and Charles Zapata. I'm gonna have to let him correct me on that when he gets on the air.
All right, then I'll get that all set up for you. We'll take a quick break and be back in probably like 60 seconds or so. Thanks everyone in chat for hanging out with us, and I will see you guys in just a second.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us, Holon. Bye
Thanks,
to viewers.
Thanks for coming on, Hitbox.